Hello, and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Today's episode reflects my analysis and opinion based on current reporting and public policy impacts. Across the United States, families are buckling under the weight of rising premiums, shrinking coverage, medications priced like luxury goods. And instead of easing that burden, Republicans have shut down the government. With the standoff entering now, 25 days? Because they're refusing to refund the very subsidies that keep our healthcare system from imploding. But let's be honest, this isn't just about politics. This is a predatory capitalism in its rawest form. ACA subsidies were never just about helping low-income families. They are the stabilizing backbone of our entire healthcare economy. They keep premiums from spiking across the board. They keep insurance markets from collapsing when healthier people opt out. And they keep rural hospitals, many of which serve entire counties, from shutting their doors. But Republicans aren't looking at that structure. They're looking at the cat. By holding ACA subsidies hostage, they are deliberately courting collapse. Because when everything falls apart, they can pivot to private bailouts, corporate buyouts, and short-term gains. Gains which the Republican backers themselves may or may not even support in the long run. This isn't about conservative values. This is about short-term extraction and long-term destruction. And it's not entirely clear that the Republican leadership even understands how far the consequences will reach. And let's be clear, this will hurt everyone. The insurance companies that bankroll their campaigns will bleed customers. Even if they currently support the push for premium hikes, the short-term boost may quickly undercut by a wave of policy cancellations as consumers drop out. Pharmaceutical giants will lose revenue as patients ration medications or walk away from prescriptions entirely. Hospitals, especially in working class and rural areas, will collapse under the cost of treating the uninsured. The average American will stop going to the doctor unless it's a crisis, and sometimes not even then. And that collapse won't stop at the ER. It will ripple out to the economy, to employment, to every Walmart, gas station, or warehouse that depends on people being well enough to work, shop, or drive. And the irony? By gutting subsidies and driving the system off a cliff, they could actually end up forcing the very thing they spent decades resisting, a move toward nationalized healthcare. Because with price increases pushing Americans to abandon their premium and health plans altogether, the market will simply not be able to sustain itself. Once the private system fails and public rage boils, the only remaining option will be federal intervention, and whether they want to call it Medicare for all or an Emergency Stabilization Act, the government will have to pick up the pieces yet again. But that doesn't matter to the ones pulling the strings. The donors, the lobbyists, and corporate backers, this push because they know the game. They cash out while the system burns, and when the smoke clears, they will still be rich. They don't care if yours and mine's premiums triple, or if your town's only clinic shuts down. They already have private care and offshore accounts. And the politicians doing their bidding, they're not fighting for your family, they're managing your collapse. This isn't gridlock. This is sabotage. And if we keep calling it politics, we're going to miss the bigger picture. Because this is what it looks like when a government is used as a weapon. Not against foreign enemies, but against its own people. Today's sources come from Congressional Budget Office, Effects of Ending Cost Sharing Reduction Subsidies, CBO.gov. Kaiser Family Foundation, What Coverage and Premiums Will Look Like Without ACA Subsidies, KFF.org. Brookings, the GOP's plan to cut ACA subsidies will destabilize the marketplace, bookings.edu. Health Affairs, while hospitals closures are accelerating and what it means to the public, healthfairs.org. ProPublica, how private equity is destroying U.S. healthcare, ProPublica.org. Open Secrets, Koch Network pushes anti-ACA campaign ahead of shutdown, OpenSecrets.org. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now.